emotionally, right? And being beat down mentally and emotionally, he started breaking down his body. But as men, we have to be strong, right? That what we hear? We gotta be strong, and we gotta carry the weight, and we men don't cry. How many times you heard that? By the grace of God, the young lady, the daughter, she's able to make it. But this man was carrying this weight. But you all guess who this man was? Stand to me, right? This man was me, broke down mentally, broke down physically, but I had to find a way because I needed me. My family needed me, right? And I had to get through. So what I've done, if I can get this back up, I want to talk to you guys today about how important physical and your mental health plays a role, right? And what I want to do is give you guys tools and tips to help you be successful when you are dealing with some trauma, where you are dealing with some pain, but knowing that there's ways physically that you can potentially invest in yourself to help you overcome alongside working with social workers and therapists and different things like that. But I do want to go a little bit more on the mental and the physical element of how I was able to overcome and share with you guys some pillars of what I did. Many of you guys are social workers and you probably already know this, right? 1 in 8 men experience depression at one point in their lives. Men are affected by burnout, and of course men are affected by some of these things, expectations of society. Would you, by the hand, show of hands, agree with me on that? And dealing with these expectations that we have as men of how we need to carry ourselves and who we need to be and how much money we need to make. We already got that going on. But then other things going on in our life to break us down. Wouldn't you think that would make things so much harder? And that's the reason why I truly believe it's important for us to have a way to practice self-care. Self-care in regards to our mental, self-care in regards to our physical, and self-care in regards to our emotionals, because at the end of the day, as you can see here, men are significantly more likely to die by suicide than women. And of those suicides, men count for 75% of those. So let's talk about this. I want to share with some of the things that I was going on when things was hard for me in my life, right? So I'm supporting my wife after her mother passed, trying to be the man that I needed to be. Learning a new job and also trying to build my wellness and my fitness company at the same time, right? And basically living in a hospital because I had a daughter that was on life support after a major surgery, all right? So as a man, I was getting broke down, right? I had poor sleep. By a show of hands, do you feel, anybody in here feel like sometimes with life going on that it impacts their sleep? A lot of us, right? I was irritable, just thinking about it this way. I'm new in my job, I'm new in my career, I'm trying to carry the weight, I'm trying to make sure these bills are paid, but my energy is off. Do you think that was affecting my production at work? Probably so. Do you think that was, though I wanted to be fully there for my wife, by the way, she's in the back corner right here, that's why I keep pointing there. Though I wanted to be there for her, do you think that it was somewhat impacting our relationship as well? Absolutely it was, right? So I had this laser focus on, hey, I needed to get this money, I needed to be strong, I needed to be stern, I needed not to cry, but all along it was breaking me down mentally, and it was causing some poor decisions. It was also causing some guilt as well. Like, this can't be me, right? I had the money. I had the picket fence house, right? How and why is this happening to my baby? All of these things going on in my head. So I had to figure out, I gotta get through this. Fortunately for me, during that time, as I communicated, I was investing in my education of some of the things that we talked about. Nutrition, right? Behavior change as it relates to execution. The importance of movement, the importance of exercise. Because again, we don't necessarily always think about how important these things are as it relates to our mental health. Am I right? Think about it this way, right? When you get a good night's sleep, how do you feel the next day normally? I'm good. When you get poor sleep, how do you feel that next day?
Dragging.
Dragging? You struggling? Your focus a little bit off? Am I right? So I realized that it's very, very important to create pillars, and I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit more about this. Okay, these are things that I can do on a day-to-day basis, despite what I have going on in my life, that's going to help ease some of the mental things that I may have going on, that's going to help make me feel a bit more confident, that's going to help me feel a bit more energetic, right? That's going to help me look at that man in the mirror. Y'all wouldn't believe how skinny I was, because, well, guess what I wasn't doing? So I had to take these things and create this in my life. And I found this out. I found that when I start eating and putting those right foods in my body, my energy changed, right? My body composition changed. When I found, despite the fact that I was working and living in a hospital basically at the same time, if I just go out and get my walks in, if I go out and prioritize just 2 to 3 days of working out a little bit, it changed all of that. I found that when I created a self-care routine for myself, where I focused on investing in myself day in and day out, I became a better man for my wife. I became a man that was a bit more productive at work. I also found out that prioritizing myself in that way, I had that ownership. Now, I'm somebody that likes to talk, all right? And I like to get a little feedback from the people that I'm talking to. I want to ask you this. Have you guys ever found yourself, anybody, where maybe you were in a dark place, or maybe you were in a tough spot, or maybe something was going on, and you stopped and start prioritizing yourself a little bit more, and your energy changed a bit? By the show of hands, can someone tell me why that's the case? Somebody raise their hand. Yeah, come on.
For me, it was, you can't take care of nobody else if you can't take care of yourself.
You can't take care of nobody else if you can't take care of yourself. That's a good one. Anybody else? Yes, Mr. Ware.
Ended up in the ER because I'm stressed.
Stress. It happens to us, right? Busy executives, always on the go, right? I saw that answer.
Yeah, so I always felt depleted when I was like putting everything into everything but myself. And once I started refocusing it back on myself, I started to feel like I had a better attitude, better spirit, more energy.
Absolutely. And am I right to agree with you or align with you and say that it makes you feel better? It helped your relationships?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I saw another hand. So let's talk about this. We deal with a lot of stress, right? Show of hands. We sometimes deal with anxiety too. This guy right here, that was me. That was the person that allowed the career to take over, or the new career to take over, trying to put that first. That was me who was unsure of myself and not happy with myself because of things that I could not control, right? I could not control my daughter being born sick. I could not control my company downsizing and restructuring. But what I could control was what? My mindset, myself, my thought process, me having faith, right? Me believing, me taking the initiative. So that guy right there, who y'all think that guy is right now? That guy is me. I'm going to tell you why that guy is me. Because this is now a man that understood that life was going to take me through a bit of a roller coaster, right? And sometimes unforeseen things happen to us because what they're doing, what these unforeseen do is they help us create character, right? These unforeseen things sometimes they help us create this mindset to where we're willing to execute, where we're willing to look at things and see things differently, right? Where we're willing to look at things in a different way so that we can be successful. Could it have been easier for me, mindset, mentally wise, just to say, well, my wife, she's dealing with what she's dealing with, my baby's dealing with what she's dealing with, my money isn't the same way, and just let everything go? Wouldn't that have been an easy way to go? But what we have to do as men, right? We have to dig deep. We know that. But at the same time, we have to heal. And guess what else we have to do? We have to ask for help because a strong man asks for help. Am I right with that?
Yeah.
So this is what the world tries to do. All right? The world tries to say, and I heard this before, I talk to a lot of people who reach out to me as it relates to health and fitness and mindset and achieving. And one of the biggest things that I get, they say, Desi, look, I'm struggling. I'm struggling with the mindset to go after my health goals. Desi, I'm struggling with eating the right things. Desi, I'm struggling with making the time, right? I don't have enough time in my day, right? But look at this 8 rule right here. You got 8, if you can get 8 quality hours of sleep, right? If you can't get in 8 hours of work, right? 24 hours in a day, right? We agree with me?
Yeah.
Let's say leisure activities. 8 hours. So are we telling me that we don't have enough time to take a walk? We don't have enough time to prepare a salad, right? We don't have enough time to go to the gym 20 minutes or 30 minutes, right? Do we have enough time? Yeah. It's about what with time? It's about making the time, which is prioritizing. That's what we have to do. So here, I'm going to tell you some things that we can do. So, I know a lot of y'all are some busy professionals up in here today. I already know that. I know you got people that you're working with. I know you got kids. I know you got family, right? By the show of hands, are you busy? By a show of hands, are you busy? Okay, so this is some 3 simple steps of what you can do to make a bit of a lifestyle shift. Who want to make a lifestyle shift to where they can be a bit more happier, be a bit more healthier, feel a bit more confident, right? Because as we've talked about, doing these things can help you get over tough times, help you kind of get over trauma, but then also help you be that person that you kind of truly desire too. And everybody want to look and feel good. Am I right? You want to look and feel good, right? So this is what I say. If you're somebody who just want to make a shift in health and wellness and fitness, it may not be your thing right now, okay? You can start your morning off right every morning. Just take 10 minutes to do a movement. Movement can be anything from stretching. It can be some jumping jacks. It can be some squats, right? What you can also do is make sure, I'll tell you what I always got. Y'all probably think I'm drinking some coffee right now. I'm drinking water. I'm staying hydrated. I had my coffee already. So just make sure you're drinking water throughout the day. And again, making sure that you prioritize protein. What protein does is it helps you stay full, it helps you maintain your muscle mass, and then also by maintaining the muscle mass, it helps with that fat burn and stuff like that too. So it helps you stay burning. So also with the protein, you may not want to snack enough. I get a lot of people who snack a little bit and don't want to snack a little bit, right? So what that's going to do is help you with that.
Wrong thing.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You get that protein in that water, you're going to be full, right? So again, try to reclaim just a minimum of 30 minutes within your life if you can, right? So that 30 minutes means just taking some time to walk. Walking eases stress, right? Do that. Take some time to, in between meetings, maybe to work out. You can work out from home, you can work out in your backyard, you can go to the gym, but just take some time to do that. But again, someone said prioritize, right? Prioritizing is very important, but what's also very important too is creating non-negotiables in your life, right? I know some of you social workers and therapists in here are going to say creating some type of boundaries, right? Some things that I'm not going to do and some things that I am going to do. Am I right with that? Mm-hmm. And again, that's where it is. Because the thing about boundaries, it helps you create something that we call self-respect, yeah? And it helps us also create that non-selfishness. Because sometimes what happens is, if we're not pouring into ourselves, thank you, we're going to end up pouring into an empty cup. And one thing I want to say is that, yes, come on here.
Got a question.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's so hard for folks to create boundaries or non-negotiables for themselves?
I think it's very hard, and I think it's hard for a lot of folks because it goes back to almost to the prioritizing things, right? People often say to me, no, I gotta go to my kids' thing, or no, I gotta go ahead and put this time in at work, or no, I gotta make sure I do this thing at church. So it's almost a bit of a way of kind of like negative self-talk and self-sabotage, kind of like in a way is a very interesting thing. But what I tell people is that if it's getting in your way, building these habits, right? If it's start very small. Just put some things on your calendar that you can do small that is a bit aligned with your lifestyle. And then what that's going to end up doing is that's going to create that, oh, I got this, you know? And then once you get it, you can kind of add a little bit more. But again, most of the time we create those excuses, and unfortunately they do somewhat self-sabotage us. But if we start small and start working towards us, we can be successful, because at the end of the day, you can see right here, my family matters. Everybody in here, your family matters, right? Your legacy matters, right? So with that being said, don't you believe that when you're pouring into yourself mentally and emotionally and physically, you are a better person for everybody you touch?
Yeah.
So that's the exact reason why you have to create the time and create those boundaries to be a bit more successful with that. I want to do something special because my wife surprised me I'm sorry, I put it on the spot. My wife surprised me. I didn't think she was going to be here today, but she came here today. One of our classes that we do for corporations, again, like I said, we do some things for corporations because we find out at corporations, people are busy, people are stressed out, people have a lot going on. So we actually help with certain classes that we do in corporations. And I want to bring you up, if you don't mind, to showcase some of the breathing techniques that folks could potentially do sometimes when they're feeling stressed or when their anxiety's bothering, just to kind of bring down the calm. I know we only got a couple of minutes, but I think this will be very, very valuable. Oh, okay. Y'all mind de-stressing a little bit? Getting a little relaxation a little bit? We're gonna make it happen.
All right, so what I like you guys to do, I want you to close your eyes. And then now I want you to place your one hand on your chest and one hand right underneath your breast, like right above your stomach. Okay? Now I want you to relax, and I want you to take a big exhale in on my count, very slowly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, release, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I want you to do that again. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now while you guys do that, you keep breathing those nice deep breaths in. Exhale out. And during this time, I want you to release any of all that stress and that heavy that you deal with just right now, just for these few seconds. You only have to do this for a couple minutes. And I want you with each exhale to exhale out that stress. And when you inhale, I want you to think about something that you're proud of, that makes you happy, that brings you joy. So you're inhaling that light, exhaling that dark. With each breath you take, you should start feeling your body relax. Your shoulders should start to drop. The tension that you may be holding in your shoulders, you don't realize is there. You're going to feel your heart rate go down. That's why I had you put your hand on your heart. I want you to just focus. Everybody's journey is different. Everybody's stressors are different. And just for these couple minutes, I want you to focus on the things that bring you joy, because there's always something that we can be happy about, proud of. And those are the things I want you to keep in your mind right now. As you inhale in, you bring in that positivity, and in that exhale out, you bring out the negativity. And this is something very simple that you can do upon waking. You can do this before you go to sleep. If you're stressed out in the middle of the day, like you just had that meeting and your boss is getting on your nerves, you can sit here, go right to your desk, and for a couple seconds, deep breaths in and out, and you only have to do it for 2 to 5 minutes. Okay, and you guys can relax. I'll give the floor back to him.
Thank you for doing that. Appreciate it. So I know I talked about a lot in a little bit of time, but I do want to share this, right? If you're struggling with strength, energy, and clarity, or learning how you can do this, right? I'm really just a message away. I'm going to share that information with you guys. I put on here, you can be the man who survives, or you can be the one that thrives. And what I mean by that is, right, it's easy to get up and just go through our day-to-day and just let life happen, right? Let life beat us down, or some days have the energy, some days we don't have the energy. I'm gonna tear down like this, right? Men, right? It's truly important to take that time, like we've been talking about today, to invest in our mental and our emotional health, right? This should be a non-negotiable. Because just like we said before, we got kids in here, we have families, and we have legacies, right? And we know we want you guys, you want that legacy and your kids to see you be the best that you can be, all right? So feel free to follow us at Des2Fit on Facebook. My wife is, she's a wellness coach as well, obviously, company, but I am Coach Mommy. She's on Instagram as well. You guys can follow her. I know we have just a couple minutes left, but I wanted to answer any questions about anything health related. If you haven't, but I do want to let you guys know this. My daughter, 14 years ago, who I talked about, she is alive. She's going to 9th grade. She is doing good. No oxygen, no sleep. She's one of 7 kids to ever have this respiratory defect ever. They're still alive. God is good. So thank you guys. Anything? Good. Well, Jay, you're gonna be up, right?
I'll be up in a minute.
All right, then. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you, okay? Anybody have any questions? You just want to ask me something privately? I'm here as well, okay? Thank you.
Organization and council. Detroit Yes, 7 Sundays.
Oh, you will be in town.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna pull yours aside.
We are now.